Joining us right now to weigh in is Tennessee Congressman Marsha Blackburn. Great to see you, Congressman. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good to see you.
Well, at the end of last week, I think there was also some upset over the budget announcement last week, and basically saying we're now in it for as long as the eye can see, $1 trillion deficits. How do you see it?
What I see it is we had to correct the issue with our military, and we had to get them out from under that Obama-era oppression. When you are losing more of your troops in training accidents than you ever have, you have to fix that. So that is what we did, and I have to tell you, I was honored to stand with our troops and stand with the president to get this fixed, because that had to be done.
You know, Jack Keane comes on the show a lot, and one thing that he says, he said it repeatedly, and it stuns me every time, that 50% of our planes are not flyable.
That's right. We cannot get them in the air.
Right.
And if you were with me in Tennessee and going on post at Fort Campbell, that is in my district, and we're going into some of these hangars where they're repairing these planes, and these hangars were built in World War II. And you see they've got one chopper and they're cannibalizing parts and using it to fix others, and they're very innovative. But Maria, they had to have contracting authority, and to give them that so that they can go back to entering in contracts and we can get all of these aircraft fixed. It was important.
I totally agree that the military spending is important, but even Republicans are questioning the spending elsewhere. Did you feel hostage? You had to play hostage to you know, getting the military spending on the books, but also having to spend elsewhere, discretionary spending?
Well, look at this.
Because that's one thing we've spoken about, David.
We had to get IPAB off the books. That's another piece of Obamacare. So now the individual mandate is gone, and the Independent Payment Advisory Board, IPAB, those are gone. They are off the books. We put billions more into the opioid epidemic. That is a crisis. Resources are needed. When I meet with my sheriffs and local officials, they will tell you they need more resources to fight this, whether it is a detox or recovery. So those are specifics that were addressed in this with the spending. Do you like the spending? No. Do you want to cut it back? And I'm looking forward to the president's budget that comes out today and Mick Mulvaney's mark on this, which will help us turn the corner on some of this domestic spending.
But that budget is relatively moot. It's a 2019 budget proposal from the White House, while Congress has already agreed to raising spending in 2019. So you're raising spending and not cutting it. $6 billion to fight the opioid crisis, but $1 billion was allocated 2 years ago with nobody in Washington tracking how that money is being spent and the effectiveness of it. Quite frankly, people stop going to rehab and they overdose multiple times, even in any given day. Again, if you're going to throw more money at the problem, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the sequestration cuts, the Republicans controlled the House when those cuts were put into place. So those were cuts that you thought were okay then, not okay now. And there's no cuts to be seen in this new budget. $1 trillion deficits with interest rates going higher. Ultimately, we're going to be spending more money on the interest on our national debt than our defense. That's the gravest danger to our national defense, is how much we're spending on interest.
I agree with you that the debt is an issue and needs to be addressed. Absolutely. The interest is an issue and needs to be addressed. When it comes to opioids, we're continuing to do work on that with the Food and Drug Administration, the National Institutes of Health, Substance Abuse and Mental Health, the CDC, and the Drug Enforcement Agency, and keep pushing these federal agencies to give us the data we need to make better decisions to support our local and state officials. So I agree with you on that, Dagan. This is an issue that has gotten away from us. When it comes to the spending, we get into the appropriations process, and every year I offer bills and amendments to cut 1%, 2%, and 5% across the board, getting into entitlement reform with Medicaid, and looking at sending that back to the states. Those are areas where we can make significant issues. For the good of my children and grandchildren, we have got to change the way this entitlement situation works. We cannot sustain this level of debt. Totally agree with you. totally agree that what happened with the military sequestration was not a wise move, because it was cut to the military and spend on social programs, and you cannot sustain that, and we do have to turn it around.
Congresswoman, a lot of people, congressmen and women, have business backgrounds, successful business backgrounds, but we haven't had a commander-in-chief that's had a business background.
Right.
Do you see things differently, where if you're running a business, if you lose more than you make, you're out of business? So do you see it now, kind of the tide shifting, where being that we have at the very top someone who's pro-business and knows how to balance a budget, or should know how to balance a budget, are things different that can, as Dagan's pointing out, can we really attack the deficit now?
We can. You get a different starting point. You take somebody that's a budget hawk, like Mick was when he was in the House, and you put that with a commander-in-chief, if you will, who is determined to get regulation off the books. And it's kind of that old formula that I say, less regulation plus less litigation plus less taxation equals more innovation and job creation. It works every time. We've seen it work over and over. But you've got to have the willpower to do that, and the force of leadership to do that.
The Republicans control the White House, the Senate, and the House, and you're not cutting anything. I think that's
well, just to be fair, they do need 60 votes. I mean, so yes, they control the House and the Senate, but they still need 60 votes, so they need Democratic votes in the Senate.
But we just raised spending $300 billion over 2 years.
Exactly, and this is the conversation you're hearing across the country.
That's right. Only $100 billion of that was offset, and you're exactly right. The House mark would have reduced spending. It was the most conservative budget we've put forward in 20 years. The Senate, it goes to the Senate, and the spending raises, and it happens every single time.
Well, and that is immigration. Right. I mean, so let's talk about this $200 billion that the president wants for immigration. That debate begins today in the Senate. A group of senators planning to introduce the Secure and Succeed Act based on the White House's immigration framework. That includes $25 billion for border security, path to citizenship for 1.8 million DACA-eligible immigrants, limits on family-based immigration. Tell us about the infrastructure plan and what the White House is envisioning here. $200 billion in federal spending as part of a $1.5 trillion infrastructure plan?
And part of that will be broadband expansion. And as chairman of Communications and Technology, we're already working on this. Now, a big part of it is going to be getting regulations out of the way, simplifying, getting rid of red tape, and making certain that it is easier to get high-speed internet into rural America. That is something we're doing on a bipartisan basis. I'm excited about that. It's the #1 infrastructure issue that our county mayors have. There will be some for waterways. We have areas that don't get clean water. And then you're going to see the rest of it into roads and bridges and traditional infrastructure. But yes, the high-speed internet, I think, is the most exciting component of this.
But again, in terms of where the money comes from, Congressman, what do you say to those people who are saying, again, as Dagan just brought up, the interest on the debt is going to make things much more expensive, and now you've got talking about another $200 billion in federal money.
And much of that, supposedly, we will see. We don't know the details yet. But when it comes to broadband, we have a way through the Universal Service Fund and spectrum auctions to pay for this. My hope is the other components, they will pay for this. We cannot afford to go into debt on this.
Congressman, it's good to see you.